going on, Jerome? It's a beautiful Friday. Birds are chirping and stuff. It's time for another Vikings news dump. So, I forget what it's called. The galbi? No, galbi's like a Korean short rib dish. Delicious. But the whole trend is animating photos. Yeah, so Kevin O'Connell looking like grown-up Ash, as well as JJ McCarthy, which, I don't know. Like, AI has come a long way, but AI cannot fix this droopy eye with JJ McCarthy. Don't know. But I don't know. Like, I honestly feel like it's weird. Like, a lot of people have crapped on, this new meme, this new trend, because it's like, oh, it's disrespectful to anime. You ever notice that the people who get really upset about anime aren't Asian? I don't know. Like, I feel weird. And maybe it's because I've been here in America for like 97% of my life. I don't give two hoots about anime. I do not care in the slightest. I feel like I should, because I feel like the storylines are, I'm sure that the stories are good, like haha, or like Attack on Titan and all that stuff, but I don't know. Either way, this looks good. Although this did look like me after watching the Twins lose to the worst team in baseball. Couple of beers, maybe a little bump. Who knows? Anyways, but the Vikings are in good hands with JJ McCarthy, and beyond just on the field, right? And you see the physical tools, all that stuff is great. Everything checks the boxes, but there's so much mental part. There's such a huge mental part about being a quarterback in the National Football League. Some don't have it, and some do. And JJ McCarthy's latter. Dan Orlovsky, he of the 11-yard end zones of ESPN, down at the NFLPA Classic in Mayakoba. I cannot express how impressive JJ McCarthy is and how he carries himself, interacts with the fellas. Vikings will be just fine, right? And I know that it seems trivial. Hey, you're playing golf, you're shooting the poo and all that stuff. But remember, JJ McCarthy has yet to play a single down in the National Football League, but he commands a room, right? And you'll get along with veterans, talking ish, making plays, or hit a eagle putt. It's great, but he does have, or is not the right term. He does have like an easy leadership about him. Like, the moment's not going to be too big. I think playing at a big-time college program, Michigan, playing in front of 100,000 fans on the regular, whether at the Big House or in Ann Arbor or in Columbus, which he never lost to the Buckeyes, by the way, and also playing for a national championship. I think all of that just adds up. It's like, hey, he's not going to be a deer in headlights. The moment's never going to be too big. He's always going to have a positive can-do attitude, and he will be a true leader of men, right? And I know that's a lot to read into a random golf comment from a jabroni analyst from ESPN. And maybe it's a little bit too heavy on the glazing, but it's Friday. It's Friday. We do what we want. And the Vikings definitely got a good one, even though also if McCarthy can overcome that eye, it's going to be good. It's going to be an inspirational story. We're just crossing the T's and dotting the lowercase J's. Yeah. Next, Vikes fan page. The Vikings sniffed around at the wide receiver position in the pre-draft process, and that's a position to keep an eye on. You get it? Keep an eye on? Yeah. According to Ben Gessling, mentioned on the Vikes Happy Hour, fantastic podcast by our guy Matt Anderson. It's a back pocket need, but I think it's probably going to be in there. I got something in my pocket, and the other is having a peace sign. So, yeah, receiver, Jefferson, Addison. Addison's interesting. So, 3-game suspension coming up, eligible for extension after this year. Do have that 5th-year option on him being a first-round pick. So, don't know. You got Rondale Moore coming in as a low-risk, high-reward spot. If he can stay healthy, he can be super dangerous. Jalen Speedy Naylor, who had 6 touchdowns last year, super good filling in for Addison at the beginning of last year when Addison had that ankle injury. And Naylor's probably going to have to step up with Addison on suspension as well. But he is in a contract year as well, final year of his rookie deal. Tim Jones, more of a special teams guy. But I mean, after that, Lucky, Jashawn, and Thayer Thomas you like, but are you over the moon about? So I think the Vikings definitely could and should look at adding some depth at maybe not even just receiver, but pass catcher in general. So there's a lot of hybrid tight ends later in the draft as well, especially guys like Aranda Gatson the second. I freaking love. But yeah, the Vikings couldn't show be looking at receiver now. Probably not first round. But if the Vikings stick a pick at 24, could Egbuka, could LB3 be in play? I mean, it's certainly possible. But in the mid rounds, a guy like Kyle Williams from Washington State, who impressed mightily at the Senior Bowl, tested great as well. Arian Smith, the track star from Georgia, Dante Thornton Jr., all upside, but he only runs 3 routes. That's all he has to run. Nick Nash, the record-breaking receiver from San Jose State. Do teams see him as an NFL caliber receiver? We'll see. Efton Chisholm III is a guy I love. Shined at the Shrine Bowl, as well as would adds a lot in the return game too. So I mean, the Vikings. Ty Felton from Maryland, I like a lot too. So the Vikings, I mean, certainly could add at the receiver position. I don't think it would be overly shocking, but we'll just see what happens. Also, a position the Vikings could and should add as well. Jordan Reed, ESPN, Siobhan Revell, Jahdae Barrett, Maxwell Hairston, Trey Amos, Azrael Thomas, and Benjamin Morrison. Really interested to see how this tier of cornerbacks come off the board during the draft. Mixed opinions on the order throughout the league. So it really is a styles make fights sort of situation. And what sort of flavor of corner do you want? Do you want the outside press man corner like Revell or Thomas? Do you want the hybrid big slot like Jahdae Barron? Like what do you want? There's a lot of also Hairston's really good. Amos is a dog, man. Morrison, if that hip is good to go, I honestly think that any one of these 6 cornerbacks could go in the first round. Frankly, I think that all of them will go in the top 45 picks, and that's just the demand at corner and how good these guys are. But Revell has really piqued my interest as of late. So Revell, yes, tore that ACL early, but remember, it was pretty early in the campaign, so he should be 100% good to go for the start of the 2025 regular season. And this is from PFF College. East Carolina cornerback Siobhan Revell since 2023, 42% completion rate allowed, which is good. 3 interceptions, 12 passes broken up, 57.1 passer rating allowed, 90.5 coverage grade. And you could say, level of competition, but he shut him down. And like you could say Sauce Gardner in Cincinnati, I think that would be a similar situation. And I think that Revell, given his size, given his length, given his press man ability, just given his mentality as well, just cornerback 1, shadowing wide receiver 1, I think that he would be fantastic if the Vikings stick a pick at 24 or even in a trade down. Also, he already looks good in purple and gold. But let's give him 28. Why not? Also, the Minnesota Fine Vikings have just smidgen of cap space right now, $21.6 million. Now, some of that could be for one more big-time move, trading for Wyatt Teller and extending him. Who knows? Or the Vikings could potentially take care of some of their own. Now, some of the players in-house who deserve an extension could actually lower their 2025 cap number, but wanted to take care of some of their guys. So Josh Oliver's kind of in a weird spot. So he could be a cut candidate. He could be a extension candidate. But his cap number is $9.4 million. Doesn't have any money guaranteed left in his base salary for 2025. But Oliver is the best run blocking tight end in the National Football League. Also set career highs in terms of receptions, yards, targets, as well as touchdowns. So Oliver's valuable. And Oliver is just turned 28. So he does have some good football left in him. So I think that the Vikings could and should look to extend Josh Oliver. Also, another Josh Metellus. Jumping Josh Metellus, the straw that stirs the drink for the Flores defense. Second on the team in tackles, 2 interceptions, 5 passes broken up, 19 pressures last year. He just is all over the place. And 4-4 is definitely number 1 in our hats. Plus, you can't lose the entire turnover Selly crew in 2 off seasons. You can't lose Beasley and then lose Metellus. But so Metellus, before he became a full-time starter with Flores, he was a key special teamer. Basically, Metellus 2 years ago was in the same spot that Theo Jackson was in. So Theo signed in that very cheap, team-friendly deal, and Metellus had done the same thing, 2 years, $8 million. So he's heading into a contract year as well at age 27 season. So yes, extending Metellus, keeping him in purple long time is important. Also, Andrew Van Ginkel. So AVG is 30 this season, and Yeah, he did sign that 2-year, $20 million deal with $10 million guaranteed at signing, but obviously he has exceeded that. But it's sort of tricky. Throwing extensions and guaranteed money at players that are past 30. Van Ginkel, respect, had a career year last year, 50 pressures, 11.5 sacks, second on the team to Grenard, 79 tackles, 6 passes broken up, 2 pick sixes as well. He was a dynamite, wreaking havoc type player and was named a starter in the Pro Bowl, rightfully so, right alongside Jonathan Grenard. And I would like to keep AVG, but it's also something to consider. His trade value will never be higher. Like Buttlicker, our prices have never been lower, but I would extend AVG, I would extend Metellus, I would extend Josh Oliver, and go from there. Also, speaking of 2 running backs who got extended, that's smooth. I like that. So, Aaron Jones back on a 2-year deal. Jordan Mason was traded from the 49ers and also inked up to a 2-year deal. And Sleeper Vikings, this will be the best 1-2 punch the Vikings running back room has had in ages. I agree, especially since they do complement each other so well. Because Mason, not really about that receiving life, but is a early down, short yardage, red zone, between the tackles hammer. Great in gap, great in outside zone, and he's a punishing runner and was still cranking off 5 yards per carry as a power back. It's pretty damn good. Aaron Jones, has all the talent in the world. Older. Can he stay healthy? That's a major question. But taking some of the early down loads off of Aaron Jones makes sense. Having him thrive on third down and passing situations, I think that's going to be really good. But also got me thinking, what's the best 1-2 combination for the Vikings running backs in recent memory? Oh yeah, 2007, Adrian Peterson's rookie year, coming in as number 7 overall pick out of Oklahoma, Boomer Sooner, 1,341 rushing yards. Chester Taylor, 844 rushing yards, 19 total rushing touchdowns between them. And remember, this is why you go BPA, best player available, because Chester Taylor in 2006 had come over as a free agent from the Ravens. Well, he was either 2005 or 2006, but he ran for 1,000 yards for the 2006 Vikings. And then Adrian Peterson just came in and just like, boom. Yeah, great running back tandem, but I wish I could find a market for this. Like Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason, 2,100 yards combined from scrimmage. I can go with that. I think that'd be good to go. Also, so I know players have to enjoy their lives, and you could get hit by a bus at any point. You get struck down by lightning. You could just be like, fully get it. But I don't know, man. It always makes me a little bit itchy when players take part in high-risk endeavors. Now, you could say, well, riding ATV, it's not high risk. Yeah, okay. Sure. But there's provisions in some of these long-term contracts that say basically you can't ride a motorcycle, you can't ride a motorized vehicle that isn't like a car, or no ATVs, no snowmobiles, no parasailing, no skeet shooting, phrasing, but nothing like that. But Justin friggin' Jefferson enjoying his life, knocking out all the wood, stay healthy. All that stuff. And again, ATVs are fun. You're not going to lie. So I understand when he's out there, he's blowing off steam. It's summer, off season, enjoying himself. It's great, right? But I don't know, like stuff like snowmobiling, like I never got on board. I don't know, like I don't mind snow, but I don't go out of my way to spend time in cold weather. It's probably why I never got into hockey or snowmobiling. And also skiing, right? I don't understand skiing because I feel like there's only 2 outcomes with skiing. You get like a modicum enjoyment, or death. That's it. Modicum of enjoyment, death. Like, yay, or Sonny Bono. That's it. It's just, I don't know. I don't get. I'd rather just sit in the lodge, have a couple cocktails, find a card game, and go from there. Right? That's what life's about. Roar and fire, wearing those itchy-ass sweaters. Or no, go cashmere. I think it's funny. So cashmere is this high-end material, and it's made from goats. Next. Lastly, so Kirk Cousins, current backup quarterback of the Falcons. he wants to get traded because he knows he's not going to start over Penix. Falcons don't want to give him up because they would have to admit defeat, but I think that Kurt's going to get traded. I think at a certain point, like, the Falcons are just going to like get rid of him because, I mean, remember, the Falcons weren't able to participate in free agency because of Kurt's contract, right? And Kurt's not the answer. He never really was. Massively got overpaid, and it is what it is. The Falcons got to take their medicine. But do you want the reminder every single week of why their cap space is foobarred and why they couldn't sign anyone in free agency? Do you want the fans just to see that every single week on the sidelines, right? Wearing his helmet, because that's what Kurt does on the sidelines. Is that what you want to do? No. So trade Kurt, and also, long story longer, the Browns, even though they're warehousing Deshaun Watson's stupid-ass contract for another year, I mean, could they work out a deal with Kirk Cousins? Sure. I mean, it's possible. But downtown Brown. So apparently there was a lot of sightings of Kirk Cousins around Cleveland. Now, some of these are legit. Some of these are made up. With AI nowadays, like, I don't know what you can trust. Anyways, but Kirk Cousins currently at Westlake Chipotle, #Browns. So it's awesome. I mean, Kurt, man of the people, right? Getting out there. Also, I can just imagine, like, Kirk Cousins' Chipotle order. So I'm guessing burrito bowl, brown rice. If they had quinoa, he would gotten the quinoa. Although I will say that, like, a rice quinoa mix ain't bad. Texture wise, like, it's not bad at all. But all right, so brown rice, chicken, of course, because I don't know, chicken is like the Lord's meat. I mean, why not? Actually, wouldn't lamb be the Lord's meat? Probably from the Bible. I don't know. Then, so no spices, no hot sauce, no salsa, no cheese, no sour cream, no beans, obviously, and light lettuce. And that's the Kirk Cousins Chipotle order, guaranteed. Guaranteed. With a, I don't know, if he's feeling saucy, maybe like a 2% milk on the side. I don't know. They already have milk at Chipotle. Anyways, that's it. Vikings news dump this beautiful, glorious Friday. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull production value.